My name is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says, "Oh, hey, you're a mom? That is fabulous." But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Attention moms. You know, we're all so concerned about how we look on the outside, but what about our insides? Now you can age-proof your body with Protandem. Just reach for what's been called the best anti-aging product out there, as seen on the Today Show. Sign up now as a preferred customer, and after receiving your 3rd bottle, get a $50 Visa gift card. Just click on the ad to the right of this video to get started. You are listening to the Channelmom Show, where we are celebrating you, Mom. If nobody else is celebrating you in the media and helping you, encouraging you, giving you great information to help your life, we are doing that right here on the Channelmom Show on Mile High Sports Radio. Okay, would you like people just to be real? Would you like them to tell you how it really is in their lives with no pretenses or masks or posing? How would you like to hear the real-life stories of a former gangster, a pro athlete, a hero housewife, or a Hollywood celebrity? Well, you've probably heard some of those kind of stories before, but not like this, because this time they are being told anonymously in some cases in a very unique and fascinating new book called Real. Real is the book by Shelley Malcolm with photos by Tara Lee Dawn Wimet. Real is a collection of 60 inspirational stories that are deeply revealing with photos that are anonymous because they're just showing the subject's hands. Just a beautiful book. I mean, just gorgeous. If you have any inkling of art in your life, you would love this book. I just love this woman, and I always do pre-interviews with my guests, and I interviewed her this week, and we couldn't get off the phone, could we, Shelley?
Oh, that's right. We were really enjoying that moment for sure.
Yes, we were. Well, welcome to the Channelmom Show. We're glad to have you today.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you.
So, Shelley, tell me why you had the idea for this book.
Well, it was something I've never even planned to write a book, to be honest with you. You know, I just finished my kids. I have 4 of them. They were growing and getting ready to go to college, and so somehow things were changing in my life, and I just happened to have a dream. And this dream really was very personal to me because I've used my hands in hard work and done great things. I've appreciated all the talents and gifts I've been given and ways I've been able to use them productively. However, I was always ashamed of them, and I'd hide them, or, you know, they just aren't beautiful hands like a lot of my friends have. But in this dream, I saw almost like a slideshow of images of hands, and each one I identified. I could tell exactly who the hands belonged to, and they were amazing and inspirational people in my life. And what I discovered in that, some of them were old and gnarly, some of them were scarred, missing fingers, is the beauty of their individuality, the beauty of exactly who they were, that they were being themselves. And then it gave me a different perspective of my own and realized what story is there. Everybody has their own life, their own story, their own heritage in their own hands.
Absolutely. And you don't hear about a hand lift, do you, Shelley? Your hands are pretty much who you are. You don't go in and get a hand lift for your hands.
Yep.
You had a Hollywood starlet who you know, the older set in our audience is going to know who she is, and somebody else, and you were able to do an incredible thing by just having them tell their stories, get their hands photographed, and be in your book. So go ahead, just tell me that story.
It was just so magical. I'd been working on the book for several months, and it was getting close to being ready to print. We had interviewed the classic sex symbol actress Jane Russell and had a photo of her hand in the book, and I'd also included Chet Hill, who is an artist, a wonderful artist, and they were both at the time, she was 89 and he was 90. Chet is a man whose story, his picture is gorgeous of his old 90-year-old hands and his palette with his colors and his glass of water and the canvas there. It's a beautiful photograph. And he had never married. He enlisted in 1939 into the Army and went to World War II over in Europe. But he was always an artist even back then. And he'd done an art show at my chapel, but after that I continued to stay in touch with him because he lived alone and we just enjoyed visiting. So I'd go over and we'd have hot buns and coffee or Coke or something. And upon one visit, he gave me this binder to look at, and he said, I'd like you to look at these old pictures. And they were sketches, pencil sketches on newsprint paper. And most of them were war-torn Europe, scenes of Paris. There were scenes of soldiers, just soldier portraits. And near the end, I got to about a dozen pages of this beautiful sketches, different poses of none other than Jane Russell, the Hollywood actress.
Yeah.
And each one was so beautiful. Thinking about it, at the time, they both would have been 18 and 19 years old when he sketched these drawings. And he still had his sketches. So after looking at them, it dawned on me, and he didn't know that she was in my book as well. So I asked Chet, I said, well, what do you think? You know, it looks like you had a thing for Jane Russell, and that's always been his favorite girl. He'd never married, but she was always dear to his heart, and he'd never met her. She was also the favorite pinup girl of all the soldiers.
Yes.
So I told him that, you know, how would you like to meet Jane Russell? And, of course, he sat up, little 5-foot tall guy. And he said, of course, you know. So within about half an hour after I left, I called him back. And I said, Chet, shine your shoes and put on your hat. We're having lunch with Jane. So we got those two together in a town near us. She came up from her area south of us, and we met at a restaurant. And they talked for an hour and a half about World War II, about the late 30s, the 40s, Howard Hughes, and her movies and his artwork, and they just had the most wonderful time. It was such a joy to see those two together.
Yeah.
When we parted, she kissed him on the cheek with bright red lipstick, which he left on for days, I'm pretty sure. But driving home, he just said, you know, I feel like I'm 19 all over again. And this was 71 years after he sketched those drawings.
Wow.
It's such a magical bringing together.
Yeah, and that is beautiful, Shelley, because the point of this book is to capture the realness of people. And that is such a beautiful, real story. No starlet, no artist, just two people talking about old times. And you put a smile on that man's face. What a beautiful thing that your book could facilitate that. So, I you know, that's fabulous.
And everyone relates to those stories, but there's a commonality in our humanity, and yet we have to look at ourselves and how we were each created differently. We're each completely individual. And that is really beautiful. And that includes our difficulties, our challenges, our failings, you know, our mistakes.
Well, so tell people, how do they get a hold of you? This is a book and a blog. How do they get a hold of you? How do they order the book?
Oh, our website is marthamartha.net, and you can order the book there. It's also on Amazon.com. You can get the softcover and the hardcover there. You can email me at Shelley, Shelley, at marthamartha.net.
If you just type in Real the Book, you can find it. So God bless you. Thank you for writing this book, Shelley.
God bless you, too, and have a wonderful day.
You too, dear.
Enjoy the snow.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Next week, we've got something to do with romance in honor of Valentine's Day, of course. You're going to want to get some help and advice from our guest next week, who has some surprising things to say about how athlete men, even sports fan men, tend to behave in marriage and how to fix that. Yes, they need some fixing. So God bless you, mothers everywhere, as you raise up the children who will soon run the world.